Hello all. It's been a little while as things get busy, but let's kick into season 12 and we're going to set our goals as reaching the playoffs again, as we're going to try and go back to back for the first time since we've begun this series. So yeah, we need to start reaching the playoffs really to get that extra money and TP, and we're going to set our ticket prices to middle, and Alberto Logan's running out of contract and we're going to let him go and see if we can maybe re-sign him off someone once they've signed him, to see if we can get him cheaper. And George Porter needs a renewal, so we're going to keep him on for another 5 years as he's our head coach for the rest of this series, hopefully. Now on to the scouting. So I had a look through, and as per usual, there's not a 5-star in sight we can sign really that's good enough. We have intelligence and age and potential, etc. But what I have found is a couple of guys at the top here. One guy being Judah Olsen, who potential we don't know, but they've got a good personality, good intelligence and a decent starting stats. So since Olsen is no worse than the legendary Levi Mack, we're going to offer him a 1-year contract, and then we'll find out what his potential stars are. If he's 4, we just give him the 1 year and find someone next year. If he's 5, then we've just found our scout for the rest of the series. And he is a 5-star scout. There you go guys, Judah Olsen. Welcome to the team. Now we can, because we gave him a 1 year contract, we'll now give him another 5 years. And he's our scout for the future. Finally, 12 seasons in. That's a bit too long. As most of you were aware, Chad Part's contract runs at the end of the season, and I've had a look through the next 3 years of college players, and there's not really a QB who can replace him, and we obviously can't afford to trade for one yet. Our franchise isn't good enough and none of our players have got enough trade value, so we're going to give Park a new contract. We're going to front load it so that after 4 years he's got no more guaranteed money, and if we need to trade him then we can, and we won't have to give up any dead cap space. So, you know, it works out pretty good for everyone really. He's a good QB, not great, just good. Hopefully he hits 90 within the next couple of seasons, but we'll have to wait and see. Now Charles Miles is a future Hall of Famer, so he's definitely being re-signed, and again this is a strategy I use for all of the players I want to re-sign now, especially for their first big contract. I'll go 7 years and then I'll go front loaded, so it benefits you in several different ways, front loading the contract. Firstly, as I said with Park, with 7 years you only pay him a bonus for the first 4 seasons, so after that you've got no dead cap hit if you want to trade him. So basically you're signing someone for 4 seasons, which I think is worth it, and all that's happening is their salary is getting lower with each season. So each new person you want to sign to a new contract, you've got a little bit more cap space to work with. We're obviously going to re-sign Kevin Gibson because we want him till he retires. He is a kicking legend for us, so he's getting a new contract. And we're also going to extend young Ross Adams. Yeah, he's a 4-star, but he's been good for us, and as we're not growing as quickly as I'd hoped with the training facilities, we're going to bring him back on. Now this season draft class, we have got a player ranked A, so Flowers is someone we definitely want, and I've got 2 high picks, so I don't need both of them. So what I've done is I've had a look through the next 4 teams to see what their needs are and what their schemes are, and I reckon I can get Flowers at 5, so I had a look through and Detroit Lions were the best team to trade with. So I traded my second pick. I've got 3 first rounders, got a load of second rounders and 3rd rounder. So a really good haul there, and hopefully the Packers don't pick up player because they have for the last 3 seasons. No, they haven't. There you go. And so the Vikings shouldn't pick our guy either. So I think my studies worked. And now we get our guy. We get a new defensive end, Maximus Flowers, pass focus, 84 overall. Decent. And so I took Glenn Price at 14, and at 16 there wasn't anyone we needed, so there was an A player left on the board in Chance Alvarado. I decided to go for it and it worked out. He's a vertical scheme, so I am delighted at 87 overall. So as I said before, it was a kind of understated draft class this year. So in the middle of the draft, I decided to trade out the rest of our first rounders and also trade away some of the players that contracts expire and bring in a load of new players, as I do every season, just to improve the team. So I bring in a load of new vets who are on cheap prices, and then also I traded away my picks. Like here, as you can see, trading away my first rounders, getting first rounders back, and then trying to get some early rounders if I can. And I actually traded up here for a special teamer, and we took Marshall Rodriguez, kicker, as he was a decently rated player. And as you can see, the draft class got a couple of good players, so I'm happy, but not many. But we're happy enough, and we're keeping up our tradition, which we missed, I think, one season. We're gonna give Braxton Cruz an extended contract and keep him till he retires. He's 32, so as per usual, 7 years backloaded. We moved him to strong safety to get him cheaper, and that's that. Now let's check out the roster for the upcoming season. QB Chad Park, just been extended. We've got Troy Jones here, wide receiver, in his second year, he's improved loads. Gonzalez we brought back, he's looking pretty good actually. Ross Adams was just extended. Chance Alvarado, the lucky draft pick. And then we got Miles, who's an absolute hero. And then Mason we brought in. Warner we brought in. Lucas Dorsey coming into his second year. And Joshua Tate, he's got 1 year left until we have to renew him. McKinney, off the back of a new contract, he's just starting. He's a great player. We got Tyler. Flowers, Maximum Flowers, we moved him to middle linebacker and his rating went up one. DBs wise, we brought in Chris Richards. There's Rodriguez there. Wayne Alvarado, obviously into his second year as our punter. As I said, Rodriguez the kicker. And let's get going with this new roster. Starting out with a loss to the Chiefs. Arrowhead, I'm hoping we can challenge for the AFC title this season. Well, I say AFC title, sorry, AFC West title. And we pick up a good win against the Bears there. And Park carries on where he left off. I think he's going to have a sort of decent season. He's a decent quarterback, and he's a quarterback you can win championships with. As we pick up a good win against the Ravens there. Patriots, I think these are the guys we need to challenge, and if you can't beat these, then, which we don't, then I don't think you, even if you make the playoffs, you're not gonna win the championship game, because we haven't beaten the Patriots yet in the regular season. A nice win at Mile High, as per usual. Defense, some of the guys playing well, getting level up already for Tyler. Be good to see a few more guys get some levels this season. Oh my god, Chad Park's out for 2 weeks. Jacob Owens, lucky we drafted this guy this season, that is very lucky. He's going to step in as we play the Broncos. Hopefully we're good enough to beat these. And we are, only just. A decent game, almost 300 yards and 4 TDs there for Owens, the substitute QB. Luckily our next game is also against a weaker team and at home. So I actually expect to win here. Oh, we trounce them. Decent game for Owens again. 7 TDs, 9 interceptions, about 600 yards. That's not bad. Good few level ups there, including Flowers. Oh, now another guy's out. Adams. Ross Adams has just signed a new contract. Seems to be a curse if you sign a new contract. So, Lee, our rookie we brought in the draft. 80 overall, he's going to start. As we take on the Browns at home for another win. And our capacity is already at 40,000, so we're maxing that out. Lions away. Oh, lose by a point. That's a tough loss there. I was hoping to pick up that win, to be honest. If we want the AFC West, we've got to pick off those victories. Like this one, this needs to be a win. and it is. And I think Park's going to get a decent yardage on the ground again this season. McKinney gets a level up. Alvarado and Park get level ups. That's good to see. It's good to see the team's getting better and better. Good to see the young players improving. That's important. They're not improving quick enough, unfortunately. But until we consistently make the playoffs and therefore consistently make money, then we're not going to be able to improve any facilities. Therefore, training won't improve, facility won't improve. So, Extreme is proving a lot harder than I thought it would be, which is good because it means it's a really tough challenge. Just means I can't tell you when our training facilities are going to get better, or our stadium, to be honest. If we can make the playoffs for sort of 4 or 5 straight seasons and go deep in the playoffs, like championship game, and make that sort of 50 mil extra, or at least make the Super Bowl, even if we lose you get 75 mil. We need to start doing that so that we can start improving our facilities, specifically training facilities, so that these draft picks improve quicker and therefore we have a much better team. I was hoping we'd beat the Bengals, to be honest. Richards has leveled up at free safety, that's good. Gibson's now out for the rest of the season, which means draft pick Rodriguez comes in, but we're going to switch him to punter and move Alvarado to kicker because he's got a better overall and the kicker's more important. Last game against Kansas, and we need a win here to make the playoffs. Here we go. Not a bad game from Park, but Rodriguez gets a second level up. So here we are, we're in the playoffs. Got the Colts, 90 overall. Won't hold my breath, but we have made back-to-back playoffs, everyone. So we have achieved the goal, so we've made the money. And yeah, that is awesome that we made the playoffs back-to-back seasons. We really need that because we need the cash inflow. As we pick up a loss against the Colts, it's been kind of a okay season. I mean, 10 wins is good, nothing to be sniffed at. But for some reason, it didn't feel like we were going to go deep in the playoffs this season. It weren't going to be a Cinderella run like we've had done before, as the Texans pick up another Super Bowl title. There we got Simmons made a conference team, and McKinney. Nice to see him make it. He's a really good player for us, McKinney. I'm glad we re-signed him. And Gibson did not make the team. He got injured for a couple of games, I suppose, but it's the first time in about 5 seasons he hasn't made the conference team. And then for those of you that like to check the stats at the end of the season, Park, as we all know, got injured for a couple of games. Simmons has had a decent season at receiver. McKinney, not as good as last season, but still a good season. Yeah, so happy enough for that season. We'll see how the next one goes. Come on.